Hey everybody, Dominic Esposito, your drill instructor. Welcome to the clinic. And my opponent saved me at the end of an 8-ball game, and I had to massé around that 10 ball to win the game. So a lot of people are asking me about massé. How do you massé? You know, I belong to a pool league and we're not allowed to use a jump cue. I don't know how to use a jump cue. I don't even own a jump cue. I'm not that great at kicking or banking, but maybe you are, but maybe balls were in the way. In this case here, I couldn't go down the table and back. This was in the way, and these were in the way. I couldn't kick in this direction. These were in the way. The only thing I could do is get around this 10 ball and make this 8 ball. So what I want to do at the beginning of this clinic, for tonight, I want to teach you the formula for how to massé the cue ball. It's not a guess. It's not a get lucky. It's just a simple formula I created many years ago, and I want to teach it to you tonight. But first, I want to say thanks to our sponsors, to Diamond Billiard Products, to Dr. Harrison for my fantastic pool glasses. Of course, limited perimeter lighting. Perimeter lighting, if you need lighting over your pool table, perimeter lighting is absolutely the best. Call Tony. You tell him the drill instructor sent you. That's going to be great. So let's talk about how do you massé the ball. And by the way, I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I certainly did, and I love you guys. Let's get to work. So, how do you massé the cue ball? Well, I'm going to give you some basics tonight, and then I'm going to tell you how to get the whole technical detail. There are 3 component parts to massé. The first component is what kind of speed do you hit that cue ball at? The second is what kind of spin do you put on that cue ball? And the third is what elevation do you set your cue up at? I'm going to teach you this. Now, the first 2 are always exactly the same, the spin and the speed. It's always 2 tips of English. And if you take a strike ball, and I want you to use strike balls for practicing initially. If you turn the stripe vertical and you see that red paint line is going right there between the 2 white sides and the number in the circle, that is right there at the cut of the paint line. That's 2 tips of English. That's a great way to get a good concept of that. That's one way. It's not the best, but it is still accurate. So 2 tips of English. The second thing you need is a 5-speed shot stroke. Now, you've all learned speed control from me before, and every pool table has 10 speed zones. So starting here from this side, this is to the middle of the table is a 1, and then 2, back to the middle is 3. When you lag the ball to win the break, it's a 4. Back to the middle is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is where your break speeds start at 19 miles an hour. In our case here, 5-speed shot stroke. So whether you're playing on a 7-footer, 8, 9, this is a 10-footer, you acclimate to every table. The speed is identical on every table based on measurement. And you can do that. So the main key thing to remember is that every speed zone has a 2-diamond range, okay? So as long as you're within this. So you want to be pretty confident that you know what your 5-speed is. So if you take a bunch of strike balls, take 5 of them, I'm going to say you got to get at least 3 out of the 5. If you're going to use all 7, then I want you to get at least 5 out of the 7, okay? So you set up here and you start. Now, I can tell just by looking at my pre-stroke, that looks like it's going to be about a 5-speed, okay? So watch what happens here. Going up the table, down the table, lift your stick up, get out of the way, back up the table, and there's a 5-speed, okay? So you see I'm within this diamond and this diamond. If you want to practice a few of those, just take a bunch of balls out and one by one until you're very proficient with at least a minimum of 3 out of 5, always landing in the speed zone. So learn your speeds, okay? That's very important. So once again, that one just went Look, by a finger. So that one's out. That's your 5-speed. So work on that until you develop some real proficiencies, okay? I gotta make sure I gotta dial down my speed. I just seem to be a little bit over. So I'm just gonna make sure one more time. Yeah, pretty much perfect. Okay, next thing you gotta do is get that English down. That's 2 tips of English, okay? The third thing is the elevation. So here it goes, okay? So first of all, there are 2 types of Massé shots. The length of the table and then the width of the table. Now, if you're going to start from one diamond of Massé, and let's just go ahead and throw this ball down there on the other end, and we'll see if we can't put this one in the pocket. Okay, that's 1 diamond of Massé. That's pretty good right about there. So you always want to make sure you got at least a couple of, give yourself at least a couple of blocker ball gap here. So you got at least a good 2-ball spread to get around. Right now that 15's dead in my way. So when you aim a Massé shot, I'm going to use this to help give you some perspective. Always aim directly at the diamond straight ahead of you, or whatever is straight ahead of you. You see, because Massé doesn't go out and come back like a big giant curveball. It goes straight and then it just curves out. So you can't shoot it out to bring it back in. It doesn't really work that way. So I'm going to shoot straight ahead and anticipate the curve of the balls coming in. So with that being the case, 1 diamond of Massé is 30-degree elevation. So what is a 30-degree elevation? When you are jacked up over a ball and you have to shoot, and now you have to take this shot, you see that elevation right there? That's 30 degrees, okay? When you could just take a simple peace sign, turn it sideways, there's your 30-degree elevation right there. And that's exactly what I am at right here, so to get over a ball. So now you know what that elevation is going to be. So from here, set your stripe with your 2 tips of English. Set it at 30 degrees so that it's coming straight at you the way the numbers are set through the ball. You see, there's 30 degrees right there. And then shoot straight down. Now, set up at center, set your elevation, pivot over so you have your 2 tips of English, then begin your pre-stroke. Now, because you've been working on your pre-stroke so well, you got a real good feel for it where your pre-stroke equals your shot stroke. And then shoot straight down table like that and put a little bit more on it. Let me do that for you one more time. Ready? Here we go. Set that. Pick it up. 30 degrees. 2 tips of English. Pre-stroke. And then let the shot go. Okay. Ooh, that cue ball must be pretty tight in that pocket because both times I'm literally just missing this thing by a hair. Yeah, I'm kind of really pretty much in the jaw there. Let me cheat it out just a little bit for you. So this is what you're going to work on for 30 degrees. Down the table, bring it up 30 degrees, pivot over. I'll make this one. Sure did. Okay. So that's your 30-degree elevation. It gives you 1 full diamond. Now, this little shot in the beginning here that I made, you're going to use that same 30 degrees. And by the way, 1 diamond of Massé to a half a diamond of Massé is pretty much 98% of all the Massé shots you're going to have to deal with in competition. So I had that 10 ball kind of in the way here, and my cue ball was like around here. Let me get that 10 ball in the way, okay? So this is what I had to get around, and you saw I practiced right here. Well, here's how you practice this width of the table, and the same 30 degrees from 1 diamond, because the table's only half the width as it is the length. So you use a half, so this would be 1 position of Massé, the same as it might be here. And then this is going to be from 1 diamond, the same way it would be a diamond here. And then this is going to be from 1.5 diamonds the same way this is going to be here from 3 diamonds. And these 3 here, I'm going all the way down to the corner. And then 2 full diamonds. And that's all you need for the width of the table because, look, I'm only shooting here. Otherwise, I'd have to go to the other side. You're never going to need 2.5 or 3 to massé. It's just not going to be necessary. So what you'll do in this, that's trick shot stuff, okay? But not for competition. So in this case, when I used this 30-degree elevation to make 1 diamond of massé, for the side of the table, I'm using straight ahead, aiming straight ahead, and then set the ball so it's easy to practice, shoot straight ahead, and then half a tip, because, 2 tips of English, and then 30-degree elevation, use your same 5-speed shot stroke, okay? Set it up, and let the shot go. That just meant it was perfect. Now, in that case, the same 30 degrees for a half a diamond is what 30 degrees is going to do for the full table. It's going to do it for the half table, okay? Now, the rest of these here, if you're going to go 2 diamonds from 30-degree elevation with 2 tips of English and a 5-speed shot stroke, now you're going to go 45 degrees. So 2 diamonds for the length of the table is from 0 to 90, 45. At that 45-degree elevation, 2 tips of English with the 5-speed, you see that ball, there's your, that's it. That's 2 full diamonds, the full length of the table. You'll use that same elevation when you are 1 diamond. You'll aim straight across, and you'll do that so you can be able to get, and you'll use that same 45 degrees. So say your opponent's got a ball sitting out here, and when I shoot across, see, look, I'm leaving myself at least a good couple of balls that are to get me by, because sometimes if you shoot a little under the 5-speed shot stroke, the ball's going to tighten up quicker. And of course, you don't want to shoot over 5-speed because then you're really going to mess up. Like my first shot was probably under 5, and it's not going to take the full curve. So in this case, you shoot across, 0, 90, 45. There's your 45, okay? Hey, listen, if you're in competition and you're not really, you're nervous like that, just make sure you're at 45 degrees, and then just go ahead and bring that into the shot, and then add your 2 tips of English, add your 5-speed shot stroke, and then you should pretty much be able to just put that right in the hole. So then you have 3 diamonds. So you have 30 degrees for 1, 45 degrees for 2, then yes, 60 degrees for 3, 75 degrees for 4. That's, yeah, literally that's 75 degrees right there. So from 90, okay, if you got 45, there's your 60, there's your 75. And from 2 diamonds to go to that side pocket or this corner pocket, you're going to need that same 75. Now, keep in mind there's 2 ways to hold this cue when you're masséing. If you're doing the 30 or 45 degrees, you could probably just use a simple sidearm type if you're not tall enough to get over the top of it. And by the way, that's the answer. Why do you see so many pros use a sidearm when they're jumping? They're not tall enough to actually get the stroke underneath where it needs to be. So there's the answer. I got some of that mail. Okay, but the Europeans generally have been the ones that tend to, instead of having the hand, the thumb down, they tend to have the thumb up. And when I get to the 60 and the 75 degree elevations, and I really do this in competition if it's necessary, because the formula never changes. I prefer, for the sake of just your shoulder, in case you've got a little ache or something like that, you could use this simple hand position, as you could see that, and you could do this and make the stroke that way. Now, if you need to wrap that knuckle around because you're too wobbly and lock that into the gut, if you can't get your hand on the table, and then from there, you can get that up. Now, In the DITV, as you know, for this week, I guess they had Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, and a whole bunch of you were jumping on DITV. And thank you very much. Why? It's 50% off. And we don't do that at any time during the year, except Kat just did it this time. So I just saw it like the day before yesterday for the first time, or today. I don't remember, yesterday I think it was. Gang, on DITV, you have my entire library of all my books, videos, clinics, private classes, all kinds of cool stuff. And I go into this kind of stuff in great detail. And I really want to make sure you get that. Formulas like how to calculate the slide on new cloth, you know, and formulas for Massé, things that are so important. It's like barely $5 a month. It's like, I think $63 or whatever it is, $63.50 for the year. Come on, join DITV, and all of these classes in great detail with real line descriptions. And of course, you always have access to call me and say, hey, I got a question, I don't understand this. And it's free, it's included. I'm always gonna talk to you about that. So, okay, that's kind of gonna be it tonight. Again, I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday. Just so much to be thankful for. I'm thankful for you. And I'm thankful for everybody that's in my family. I've got great grandkids. I went to see them. I'm not a great grandfather. I have really just terrific great grandkids. And I really did have a lot of fun. And saw my daughter with our newest granddaughter, Layla, who was just born 6 weeks ago now, I think. Then we went up to Atlanta with my 4 grandkids. Had the best time because the day before Thanksgiving, my grandson celebrated his 16th birthday. So I can't believe he's that old. But it was the best time. And so there you have it. Okay, so listen up, everybody. Go join DITV. Come on, go to my website, thedrillinstructor.us, thedrillinstructor.us. Join DITV. It's the best deal going right now. Take advantage of it. Call me if you have any questions. And hey, some of you, come on, book some time here at the Drill Instructor Studio for training. You want to get some good one-on-one? Okay, the nice thing about when you come and train with me is whatever materials I think you might need for learning, I'm going to make sure you get those. So that's all inclusive. So give me a call. I'd love to get a chance to get with you guys. I got other big news, really big news. I am doing the final testing on the new Freedom. Yep, that's right. My brand new jump cue is coming out. You know, my brand new shaft is, I haven't even started promoting it yet. It is done, it is finished, and it is called the Patriot. And I'm loving it. It's incredible. And it does have zero deflection, tapering, performance. It's built right. I mean, it is amazing. And you'll learn more about that. The commercials will be coming out soon. The Patriot is the shaft. The Freedom is the jump cue. It's insane. It jumps literally from easily 1/4 of an inch. Maybe you don't need to do that in competition, but it's designed to do that. It has well over 100-inch range in the air, jumping. I'm not kidding you. On my 10-foot table here, I had a cue ball set up right here. And we had a backdrop here on the back of the table, and I was landing them into the backdrop on the fly. So it has an amazing power. Okay, 4 ounces for 40 inches. Then it's got an 18-inch handle, so it's 48 inches, and that's 8 ounces. And then you can put the 18-inch handle and the 10-inch handle together with the shaft, and it makes a full 59-inch cue. And you have 10 ounces. And it's really remarkable. Okay, you'll hear more about that coming up soon. So aim straight, shoot straight, massé straight, and split the pockets. Thanks. I'm really glad I got to go live with you tonight. This was kind of fun. And if you got any questions or you want to write to me, please do so. I want to say thanks, real big thanks to the 3 secrets to the break shot that went way over 60,000 viewers. That was so cool to see that. I love you guys. You just make me so happy to want to come on here and do this with you. And okay, so it's live. Now, I'm going to go behind the camera and shut this thing off. You don't get all this goody stuff when I'm pre-recorded. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.